Welcome to the pre-employment orientation session. First, I'd like to congratulate you all on your positions with CMS. We're happy to have you here on the team. Next, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Laura Bynack, and I am a sourcing specialist, which is basically a fancy word for a recruiter. I work within human resources at the SPA administrative building. To go through the agenda, the first thing that we're going to talk about is goals. Then we will do an overview of CMS. After that, we'll discuss logging into your email, logging into the whole computer, etc. Then we will go over the intranet. After that, we'll discuss payroll, then health benefits, and finally, we'll talk about compliance paperwork. The goals for orientation: learn something new about CMS, understand the procedures and policies, learn where to find vital information, and have fun. Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools' vision and mission. Our vision is CMS provides all students the best education available anywhere, preparing every child to lead a rich and productive life. The mission. CMS's mission is to maximize academic achievement by every student in every school. One thing that sticks out to me about both the vision and the mission is the word every. We're talking about every student, not just some students. Now we have some very interesting information about Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. I'm going to start on the bottom with the apples. We represent 183 countries. We have over 147,000 students, over 18,000 employees, 176 schools, and over 40,000 volunteers. As you can see, we are a very large school district. Out of our 18,000 employees, about half of the employees are teachers, and the other half are support staff and other staff. So it's a good mix of teachers and other types of positions supporting the school. Going up to the bullets on top, we are the 18th largest district in the country. So this shows just how big we are. Now, even though we are so big, we're broken up into smaller learning communities, and each learning community has its own learning community superintendent. So being part of a learning community gives you that small district feel. So working in the district, you really don't feel like it's that big. We have many different types of schools, including magnet schools, Title I schools, and international baccalaureate schools. We are nationally recognized. We have an 89.4% graduation rate, 17 magnet schools of excellence. We were designated as a Global Ready School District just last year in 2017. We won the 2017 Making Strides Together Curriculum Award, and we are a 2017 Success by Design grant recipient. The employee core values. Our core values convey who we are and what we see as most important in our culture. So I'm going to go through here and read the core values. The first core value is student-centered. Students are at the heart of every decision we make. We plan and align actions and resources with what is best for students. The second core value is community. Everyone is valued and respected. We foster a positive, supportive, and joyful environment through open communication, collaboration, and celebration. Next, we have diversity. The diversity of our team is one of our greatest strengths. We recognize, affirm, and value the contributions and unique perspective of each person. Dependability. We build confidence by being accountable for our words and actions. And finally, learning. We continuously reflect and actively seek opportunities to learn and grow. The culture of caring standards. CMS has a desired cultural experience that we strive to provide for every stakeholder. Every child, parent, caregiver, visitor, and fellow employee feels welcomed, expected, valued, and appreciated every day. The first standard is I care. The mindset and customer service qualities found in CMS team members and conveyed in the service experience. Next, we have I communicate. How CMS team members are expected to interact with each other and those outside the organization. And finally, I connect. Characteristics that convey our belief in the power of working together. One thing to mention about I communicate is your work email. You want to respond to all emails you receive within 24 hours, not counting the weekends, of course. But even if somebody emails you about something that you're not sure of the answer or it's not something that your department does, you still want to respond and write back with some sort of a response. So even if your response is, that's a great question, let me look into it and get back to you, and then look into it and get back to them, or that's a great question, you'll want to contact so and so department, but you always want to have some sort of response. So, our core values and our culture of caring are related to each other. Our core values convey who we are and what we see as most important in our culture. The culture of caring standards convey what's expected by each of us on a daily basis to live our values and create the desired experience of people feeling welcomed, expected, valued, and appreciated. So, to close this section, I'll just add that a culture of caring starts with each of us taking personal responsibility to care for, communicate with, and connect with each other and those that we serve. Okay, now we are going to switch gears and talk about some technical types of things. I strongly encourage you to either take notes, take a screenshot, take a picture, of these slides so you'll have this information for the future. So first we're going to talk about logging in. Your username is your first name, middle initial, dot last name. Again, that's first name, middle initial, dot last name. If there is anyone who does not have a middle name, didn't put their middle name on their application, or if your first name, middle initial, last name happen to be identical to someone else's in the district, in any of those cases, you may have a number 1 instead of your middle initial. If that is the case, your username would be first name 1 dot last name. Your password. Your password is capital C, lowercase m, money sign, the last 5 digits of your social security number. Not the last 4 digits, but the last 5 digits. That username and password is used to log in to a whole number of things. Most of those things are outlined on the bottom red circles here. So the username and password is used to log into the intranet, and we'll talk about what that is shortly. It's used for your entire CMS computer, Google Docs, email, and employee self-service. We'll also discuss employee self-service shortly. Now, your email address is that username at cms.k12.nc.us. So, as an example, someone whose name is John, his middle initial is P, and his last name is Smith. His email address would be johnp.smith@cms.k12.nc.us. Now let's pretend for a minute that John had forgotten to put his middle name on his application. If he had forgotten to put that middle name on the application, his email address would have been john1.smith@cms.k12.nc.us. You may be getting an email shortly from the Technology Help Desk that has your username, password, email, some websites. But if for any reason you don't receive that email, you now know the pattern for the username, password, and email, so you could probably figure out, what yours will be. Now, you probably will not be able to log into your email until your first official day of work. However, if you arrive at work on your first day and for some reason your username and password is not working, you can't log on to your email, or you can't log on to your entire computer, or really any technology problems that you'll have, in any of those cases, you'll want to contact the Technology Help Desk. The Technology Help Desk. So, one other note, after every 90 days, you will be prompted to reset your password. When you reset your password, it will automatically reset in all the things in the red circles at the bottom, except for Google Docs. If you'd like to reset it in Google Docs, you'll have to go into Google Docs and reset it individually. One other thing to mention about if you do have any technology problems and need to call the Technology Help Desk, their phone number is, we're going to talk about it later. It's in the back of the employee guide, and I'll show you how to access that a little bit later. Okay. We are going to go over some information about the intranet. The intranet is an internal system just for CMS employees, so only CMS employees have access to it. In the middle circle is the web address for the intranet, my.cms.k12.nc.us. You'll most likely be using the intranet a lot because it has a lot of really important features. Some of those features are outlined here. So on the top it says benefits. The dental, vision, and supplementary benefits are through the intranet, and we'll talk about that further when we talk about health benefits. We also have the directory. The directory is a way to look up the contact information for CMS employees. Next is employee self-service. Please listen to this very carefully. This is very important. Employee self-service is where you will sign up for direct deposit, you'll view and print your paychecks, you'll fill out your tax forms, a lot of really, really important things in employee self-service. So you'll be hearing about that a lot today. Next, we have My Savings. My Savings is an employee discount site. As CMS employees, we are entitled to a number of discounts. And last, we have Marketplace. The best way I can describe Marketplace is it is like a CMS version of Craigslist. You can actually buy and sell things on Marketplace just between CMS employees, so it's pretty cool. Okay, if you're interested, there are a couple different apps that you could download to your phone. There's one whole district app, and then there's one specific app for the My Savings employee discount site. Having that on your phone, if you're going to use the discounts, is really, really handy. One last note about the intranet is that, of course, you can go on the intranet from work, but you can also log on to the intranet from home, which is really convenient. In front of you now, you see the home screen for the intranet. So I've circled a number of things in blue. We're going to go through and discuss these things. There's also many other great features, but we can't go through them all, so we narrowed it down to talk about these things that are circled in blue. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the directory. This is circled on the top. It's the third one in where it says directory. As we said on the previous slide, this is a way that you can look up the contact information for CMS employees. When I was a new employee, this came in really, really handy. There were different departments I had to call, different people I had to email, and it was really nice to be able to just go to the directory and look up email addresses, phone numbers, mailing addresses, all these things myself. I didn't have to ask my supervisor or my coworker, what's this person's email or what's this person's phone number. That was something I could do myself, even on my first day of work, which was really nice. So when you click on directory, there are three different ways to look up the contact information for CMS employees. You can look them up by their name if you know their name. If not, you can look up different departments, and within the department, you can actually see all the staff in the department. So if you did need to reach a specific person on that team, that's there. Also, each team has a main phone number that rings for everyone in the department, which is, I suggest, the best phone number to call, because that if one person's away from their desk, most likely someone will be at their desk to answer that call from that department. The third way that you can search for people in the directory is by school. So if you need to reach a specific school, you can find that too. And again, that lists all the staff in that school if there's a specific person that you need to reach within the school. Okay, next thing I want to discuss is departments. This is circled on the top left. On the top left is departments. Again, when I was a new employee, I had a number of different questions for different departments about the different paperwork and things I needed to do. And sometimes I wasn't sure which department to call, which department dealt with the question that I had. So I would come here to the departments tab, and it actually gives a blurb of what each department does. So I could see who I should contact for a specific question. So when you click on departments, it's all in alphabetical order with all the departments. A couple departments that I strongly encourage you review. One is the benefits department. And we're going to talk about health benefits later, but if you go to the benefits department, one thing it has is a packet with all the benefits choices, costs, and details. Another department that I suggest you review is payroll. You'll see the payroll schedule and some important payroll links. Okay, the next thing circled in blue, I want to move over to the icons in red on the right. First thing circled is employee email. This is one way that you can log into your email. We also have Outlook as well. Below there it says My Support Sharewell. This is um, if you have any IT or technology issues, one option is to write a ticket. So you can click here and write a ticket with what your issue is, and someone on the IT department will get back to you to resolve the issue. Another way to reach the the technology help desk. Actually, I didn't circle this one, but if you look below, where below all these red icons where it says CMS contact phone numbers, the last number on there in this list of 4 is the technology help desk. So that is their phone number. Their phone number is 980-343-5736. You may want to take a picture or screenshot of this slide or write down that phone number, but that is their phone number. Okay, going back up to the red icons, now we're in the right column, and again, we're only going to talk about the ones I've circled just because of time constraints. But anyway, the one I circled in that right column, the second one down, is My Talent PD Portal. This is where your observations and evaluations will be. Again, your observations and evaluations will be here. Also, your professional development plan, or PDP, will be here, and your principal or supervisor will go over that in more detail. And lastly, if you'd like to sign up for any professional development courses, you would do that here as well. And if there are any substitute teachers, there are substitute professional development modules as well. Next thing that is circled is employee self-service. I'm actually going to save this for last. We're going to go back to this because there's a lot of information for employee self-service and some other screenshots, so we will go back to that. Under that is CMS Marketplace. As we mentioned, CMS Marketplace is somewhere where you can buy and sell things just between CMS employees, kind of that Craigslist idea, but just between CMS employees. So it's definitely very cool to check out. The next thing I want to mention is actually on the bottom left of the screen. The bottom left has quick links, so it has some other links here, and I circled the second thing, which says CMS My Savings Employee Discount Site. You would click here to get into the discount site. When you click here, one thing is it shows instructions of how to download the app on your phone if you'd like to do that. And then also when you're on the screen, on the bottom left, it lists all the different types of categories of things that we offer discounts in. And you can click in any category and see what discounts we offer. To get the discount, you would just bring your employee ID badge to the store or the restaurant or wherever it is. Okay, so now to go back up to employee self-service, which I said we were going to save for last. So again, employee self-service is a red icon toward the right. You'll see it circled there. So again, employee self-service is where we do things like view our paycheck, fill out our direct deposit, tax forms, etc. So I'm going to show you some screenshots and explain exactly what to click on so you can get in there and fill out that information successfully. So the first thing, of course, you will click on is employee self-service right here, the red icon. Once you click on Employee Self-Service, the red icon from the screen before, you will then see the top half of this slide will be next, the top half of this slide. Now, you have to make a choice here, either choosing Employee Self-Service in red, and it's written again below in blue, or Employee Self-Service from Home, the red box, and again it's written below in blue. So if you are going on Employee Self-Service from work, you would choose Employee Self-Service. You can click the red box or you can click the blue below. If you're logging on from home, you would of course choose Employee Self-Service from home, either the red box or the blue writing. Now it is the reason that you have to make this selection is that it's a different internet connection whether you're at work or at home. So if you choose the wrong thing, it's not going to work. So it is important that you make the correct selection. After you make that selection, you will come to the screen below, which asks for your username and password. So of course you will enter in your username and password and click Login. Once you log in, you will see the screen in front of you, this screenshot, except when you first log in, this drop down menu will not be there. You will not see that. What you will do when you first log in is you will click Bookmarks on the top left. It is in blue here. Again, you will click Bookmarks on the top left. Then you will hover over CMS Employee Self-Service. When you hover over CMS Employee Self-Service, this drop-down menu will appear. So obviously with this drop-down menu, you would click on whatever it is that you're doing and then fill in the fields and information it asks for. I'm going to go through this drop-down list and just explain what each thing is. The first thing says benefits, enroll, and changes. Now keep in mind that your dental, vision, and supplementary benefits are through the intranet. So that is what you're seeing here. However, later when we discuss health benefits, you'll see that what we encourage all employees to do is actually call a phone number to enroll in benefits. So if you do call to enroll in benefits, you will not have to enroll yourself here. However, if you did not choose to call and chose to do it yourself over the computer, this is where you would enroll for the dental, vision, and supplementary benefits. If you do enroll over the phone, as we encourage, you're still encouraged to, of course, anytime you can come here and check this and make sure that everything is correct in the system. Okay, next thing on the list is mileage reimbursement. This probably will not apply to most of you. This only applies to people that have a position that part of your job involves, during your work day, your work responsibilities involves driving from one place to another. If that is part of your position, you would keep track of your mileage and submit it each quarter to be reimbursed. If that is part of your responsibilities, your principal or supervisor would go over that with you in more detail. Again, that probably does not apply to most people. The third thing on the list does apply to everyone. The third thing says view assignment and pay information. This is where you can go to check and make sure that we have your correct information. You check your job title, your pay, everything that's listed here. I do want to stress, though, that until you have your first official day of work, you are in a holding pattern in the computer system. And so your information may not have updated, so there may be older information or inaccurate information in the system. So if you could wait to check here until so let me back up. After you have your first official day of work, the system will update and all your information will populate and update. It could possibly take up to 24 hours after you begin your first day for the information to all be updated. So if you could just wait till about 24 hours after you begin work, then you can go here and check and make sure that all your information is correct. Okay, next thing on the list, we're on the fourth item, is view and print W-2s. So obviously at that time of year, this is where you'll go to view and print your W-2s. You can also go here beforehand and select if you want to receive your W-2s electronically or through paper. If you we suggest that you receive your W-2s electronically because they are stored in the system and you can print them out. There's no rush with making that election of electronic or paper, but if you have not made the election by November or so, you will get an email asking you to go onto employee self service and make that election. Next thing we have is address and phone change. At any point, if you get a new address or you move and get a new address or you get a new phone number, log on to employee self-service and update your address or phone number here. You do not need to call human resources to say that you have a new address or phone number. We would just tell you to log on and do it yourself in the system. So this is something you can do yourself on employee self-service. Next, we have direct deposit. This is where you will go to enter in your bank information for your direct deposit. We'll be talking more about this during payroll, but direct deposit is mandatory. You have to have direct deposit. It is a condition of employment. With your direct deposit, you can have up to 5 different accounts. On the other hand, if you prefer, you can just have one account. If you have one account, you would put 100% into that one account. If you have more than one account, you would divide it up based on percentages or flat rates. Next on the list is emergency contacts. You can enter in a couple emergency contacts for yourself here. Then we have leave balances. The system always keeps track of how many annual leave days, how many sick days, how many personal days you have. So at any point you can log into the system and see how many days you have. Next we have My UID, My CMS Employee ID. You can come here to find out what your employee ID number is. It is important that everyone knows their employee ID number, so this is where you will find it. Next is paychecks. This is where you will go to view and print your paychecks. And finally, we have tax withholding. This is where you will go to fill out your tax forms, your NC4 and your W4. Now, one very, very important note. With both your tax forms and your direct deposit, you need to do that within your first day or two of work. So you probably will not be able to log on to employee self-service until your first official day of work. Even if you are able to log on, you should not enter in any information before your first day of work because the system is not ready for you. If you enter in information, it likely will not save. If you log back on later, it likely will not be there because again, you didn't have that first day of work and everything didn't kick in yet. So it's important to wait until your first day of work to be entering in information and doing things so that way it'll save and it'll stay. But the catch is that with your direct deposit and your tax forms, you need to do that either day one of your position or day two. So your first day of work or your second day of work, you need to do the direct deposit and the tax forms. That must be done right away, but it can't be done before your first day. Okay, so I think we are ready to move on to the next slide.
CMS payroll. At CMS, direct deposit is mandatory and is a condition of employment. You can have up to 5 direct deposit accounts that you can set up in employee self service. If you change banks, please be sure to update the new banking information in via employee self service. Now, you may not be able to log into employee self service until your first day of work. Even if you can log in, you will not be able to enter and save information. Therefore, wait until your first day of work to do your direct deposits and tax forms. You need to complete the direct deposit and tax forms within your first day or two of work. If your tax forms are not completed when a payroll runs, taxes will be withheld at the single zero rate. If a payroll runs and you do not have direct deposit set up, you will need to pick that check up at the CMS Finance Office at 4421 Stewart Andrew Boulevard. You can call the payroll help desk at 980-343-1839 for check distribution dates and times. Your check will be released only with proper ID and proof that you have since entered a valid direct deposit account in the Lawson system. If you have previously worked for CMS, it is also urgent that you update your banking information as old information may already be populated in the Lawson system, and this can cause an unintended distribution of your hard earned pay to an old or closed bank account. Also, if you've worked for CMS before and upon separation you owed CMS any money, it will be deducted from your first CMS pay. You may view your pay stubs also on employee self-service. And in viewing these pay stubs, you must immediately report any discrepancies, overpayments, or underpayments. As a CMS employee, you are obligated to report and repay any overpayments, and under state law, CMS is obligated to recoup any overpayments. Pay schedules. There is a bit.ly link on the PowerPoint, and pay schedules are also available on the payroll homepage of the CMS intranet. Most hourly positions and substitute teachers are paid biweekly, and most salary positions are paid monthly. For those who will be paid monthly, paychecks are distributed on the last working day of the month. December is an exception, where paychecks are usually distributed prior to Christmas. Certified teachers are 10-month employees, regardless of the calendar they work, and all of your annual salary is earned in the first 10 months of the school year. Working the traditional or early college calendar, your salary earned is paid out from August through May. However, you can elect to have your pay distributed over a 12-month period from August through July via installment pay. Understand you will not be paid any more in total. In fact, your monthly earnings will decrease as your annual salary will be distributed over 12 months as opposed to 10 months. In this scenario, from each of your 10 regular paychecks between August and May, 16.67% of each paycheck will be held in escrow for payout to you in the months of June and July. You must make the election as in employee self-service by the first teacher workday. For 2018, those dates are August 1st for the early college calendar and August 16th for the traditional calendar. As a new employee, you will not be able to elect installment pay prior to your first day because you won't be able to access employee self-service. Also, this election must be made every school year. For certified teachers working the continuous learning calendar, enrollment in the 12-month pay option is automatic and there is no need to sign up. Also, please note that for the continuous learning calendar, the installment months are actually May and June, as opposed to June and July with the traditional calendar. Teachers are mostly prepaid through the school year. For teachers on the traditional calendar, when you are paid on the last day of the month, you are being paid from the middle of that month to the middle of the following month. For instance, on your paycheck on the last day of August, you are paid up through the middle of September. If you leave the job at any point, remember you have been paid 2 weeks in advance. The last paycheck is on May 31st if you are getting paid for 10 months. All instructional staff are encouraged to use the payroll schedule to get a full understanding of their pay periods and their pay dates. And finally, W-2s. On employee self-service, you can elect to receive your W-2s electronically. A reminder is usually sent out in November or December of every year for all those who are not signed up for electronic distribution. If you choose your W-2s to be distributed electronically, they are available prior to paper mailings, they are stored in the system, and they are available for print on demand. Thank you.
Let's talk benefits. Here you'll see information on how to enroll, information about our benefits department. Here's our phone number, 980-343-1754, and the benefits email. Plus, you will see our bit.ly. I am going to pause for a minute or two just to give you time to jot this number down. CMS offers many benefits. You'll see a list below. We have 2 medical plans, dental plans, vision plans, specified disease and optional cancer plans, group hospital, term, permanent, and whole life policies, short and long-term disability plans, accident insurance, retirement savings, flexible spending accounts, legal and identity theft plans, discounted home, auto, and purchasing programs. You'll see a number at the bottom of your screen, 877-401-6390. Please call that number to schedule an enrollment session today.
Charlotte Mecklenburg School offers 2 health insurance plans, the traditional 70-30 plan and the enhanced 80-20 plan. Please, when you are looking at these different plans, make sure you go over them to make sure what's going to be best for you and your family. There is a tobacco premium credit that's available to reduce the employee-only premium costs on all plans. Once again, you can call the 877-401-6390 to schedule your appointment with a counselor. CMS has 2 enrollment platforms that we use to enroll in our benefits. The first platform is through CMSHRIntouch.com. That's the platform we use to enroll in our health benefits. The second platform is for our dental, vision, and other benefits through employee self-service. Once again, if you need help enrolling in these benefits, you would contact the number 877-401-6390. Here's a few reminders from the benefits department. You have 30 days from your first day of work to sign up for your benefits. If you do not enroll in your benefits in your first 30 days, you must wait until open enrollment in October to enroll. And the benefits will not start until January 1st of the following year. The year runs from January to December. You enroll for benefits within your first 30 days of work for your 2018 benefits. Then you will have to enroll in benefits again in October during open enrollment for your 2019 benefits. Once again, our benefits run from January through December. Any changes made after you have enrolled only can be made during open enrollment period unless you have a qualifying life event, for example, marriage, birth, or change status. Remember to print out your confirmation statement upon completion of each enrollment with your counselor, or if you're doing it online yourself. You have to have your confirmation if we have any issues or questions down the road. We will request that you send us a confirmation to verify that you did enroll in your benefits. Once again, if you have any questions or are concerns with enrolling, you would contact 877-401-6390. Thank you.
Okay, accessing forms. We're going to talk about some different paperwork and forms that you need to fill out as part of your onboarding process. Now, to get to the way to get these forms that we're going to discuss, there's a screenshot here, and this is of the Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools website. So our regular website, not the intranet, but our regular website that the public has access to. So you will go to our regular website, cms.k12.nc.us, and hover over Careers, and then click on the 4th choice down, Pre-Employment Orientation. Again, you will hover over Careers and then click on Pre-Employment Orientation. Once you are on that screen, that has different links with the paperwork that we're going to be talking about now. And some of the things are bulleted here that you will see on that page. So you'll see the North Carolina Verification of Eligible Employment form, the Retirement Reemployment form, Work Calendars, North Carolina Pension Information, and the Employee Guide. Just want to highlight for a minute the Employee Guide. This has very, very useful information, so we do hope that you will review this. Also, toward the very back of the employee guide is a list of useful phone numbers. It has the phone numbers for different departments, so I strongly suggest that you keep that handy, maybe print out that page, and keep that with you because there's some very important phone numbers there. Okay, in front of me here is the certifying employee status under retirement reemployment laws. And of course, this is one of the forms on, we get to this from the screen before as we just showed from the Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools website. Hover over careers, click on pre-employment orientation. So anyway, this form you only need to fill out if you have retired from the state of North Carolina. Again, you only need to fill this out if you have retired from the state of North Carolina. If you have not retired before, you do not need to fill out this form. The next form we're going to talk about is the verification of eligible North Carolina state employment. You only need to fill out this form if you have had previous employment through the state of North Carolina. So if you worked at a different public school in the state of North Carolina, you would fill this form out. Or it doesn't even have to be a public school you worked at. It could be other employment for the state of North Carolina. So you're not filling this out if you've worked for the city. You're not filling this out if you've worked for a private company. You only fill this out if you worked for the state of North Carolina. If that applies to you, you would fill out the very top section, and then part 2, the whole rest of the paper, will be filled out by your previous employer. It is your responsibility to get this form to your previous employer and have them fill it out. If you worked in a school district, you'll probably want to contact the district office or human resources or possibly compensation to fill this out. So once you have your previous employer fill this out, you can either direct them to fax it back to us, or you can direct them to give it to you and then you can fax it to us. But it is your responsibility to have them fill this out and get it to us. On the bottom of this form, there is a fax number of where you should return it to. We have come to the end of the webinar. We hope that you stay connected with CMS through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thank you for your time and good luck in your new position.